Wawanui! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late here. Scrambling to get in here. Hopefully, my computer behaves itself. Knock on wood. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, we have Miss Randy in here. Wawanui and Wawa Cat. How are you? Randy is quick like a bunny, huh? I am resting my neck and back. Okay, so this weather is playing with my body. Let me see. How is the weather where I am? A little warmish where I am, personally, and we are in fog, but it's a warm fog, so it's a little different. Ah, how beautiful. Hello, Paul, Debbie, working with the animals today at the fair, and I cannot help. It is a strong feeling coming over me. Yes, yes, the animals themselves, especially if they're happy and they have good balanced energy. Oh, perfect. 72 in Pennsylvania for the fair. How perfect can it get? And Miss Lillian is working with the arts and crafts. How fun. But yes, there's an amazing energy that comes off the animals, especially when they come back into balance. And it's part of why I do what I do with the energy balancing. So, absolutely, I am getting polarity treatment later today. Okay, then I will not overdo what you're going to be doing then. So we need to collapse that. Wawanui, Jane Danielson is one of our other hunas, and her essence is Huna Hamanisa. And the reason that I present these to everybody is so that you can have that energy. They're actually an essence. They're not just they're not like just a name. Like my name is Debbie, and her name is Jane Danielson. Her Huna essence is Huna Hamanisa. And the same thing with mine. When you hear Huna Kamaroha, it's actually working on a multidimensionality, and it is working with your DNA and your energy system as well. So that's why we share those for you. Hello, Red Dragon. Lovely to see you here. Wonderful, wonderful. I do me, huh? I tend to do me. Hopefully, I won't blitz out my camera like I just did. Oh, my. Cat's saying that we're going to peak at about 90 this afternoon, and it's going to rain in the evening. Wow. Wow, wow. And Amanda Carroll is here for a few minutes. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Says we Alabama. That's going to be a band in town playing tonight on the fair. That's fun. Yep. Huna Hamanisa. Thank you so much. Wawanui. And again, if you're new here, Wa is the, hopefully my computer comes back on with its, it's the Wi-Fi actually that is doing this interesting blitz in and out today. Apparently we're moving at the speed of light, and it's glitchy a little bit there. Okay, so she's sharing the Huna essence with us. And again, if you're new, Wa is the Lemurian principle of first love. Wawa, much love, and Wawanui is much love to everybody. So we're going to hop off of that, and let me see if I can load. Ha 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 ha. Here we go. Perfect. And yeah, this week has been, if you were just over on the Oracle card read for this week, this is going to be a very busy week as we transfer from one of our Lemurian signs, which we have been currently in the Lemurian sign, the essence for this month from the 1st of August until the 28th of August has been the essence of purification. And now we're going to be flowing over into 3 days of undistorted light. And then on September 1st, we'll be entering into the sign of Namu. And what's been a lot of fun has been overhearing people talking about this month. They have felt guided to do purification. And I've always suggested that you do it as gently as you can, because otherwise you can end up with a detox overload where it kind of acts like a flu. But what you did was you detoxed a little too fast, too soon. And so your body goes, whoo, great. And then it just dumps everything into your system at once, which is kind of scary. So Paul is saying we are seeing heart tomorrow. Oh, that's wonderful. These dreams. I love it. Absolutely love, love, love it. Come along. I probably will, just to tap into the energy. Do a remote viewing of it. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? But then, as I was saying, also Randy's a great example of one of our maitas. They are the pure undistorted light from the central sun. So if you're born on any of the calendar months, it's going to be the 29th, the 30th, or the 31st of any of the months. Then you're what's called a maita. This is a crystal. That's symbol. It's going to be the crystal, and your essence is the undistorted light from the central sun. So that is the main reason why I mentioned the stargates and the undistorted light, is because for thousands of years down here on planet Earth, planet Matea now, we have filters, distortion filters that were put in place. And so as they're coming through each specific stargate each month, it beams that essence, and it will kind of flavor it for everybody then. So as we go forward then on September 1st, we'll be easing into the sign of the dove. This is the sign of the peace. And so that we will be transferring into the essence of peace. Our stargate then will be our own sun for the month of September. It'll be September 1st through the 28th. The undistorted light is going to come through our sun, which is called Wahi. And then peace will be beamed out over onto all of the planet to collapse some of the distortion that we have. So yeah, it's a busy, busy week. And we're going to do it just as gently as we possibly can. So for anybody here and on the replay, we're going to do some Lemurian sounds right quick. We're going to do some Lemurian technology as we go forward. And so let's get started here. Tihe mori hora mahaka watahi iti ingwa te to irita otawana wayuatapu kata iti ingwa ta finui trarani tikatao wayuatapu kata iti ingwa ta fayata matuatama wayuatapu kata tihe mori hora ah ete I a upe o ube a il I un ul o ep tana nu ma il I hakta toropa potehi tuma kakima kakika naro hawa takima takika tai tu tehu upo. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Now, Paul, since you are near the animals, could you tell me if you're around livestock or are you around some of the smaller animals? Because that will rate how much energy I'm actually going to be putting out here today as I work through this. This is strong. Yeah, it is pretty strong. That's why I'm asking you. Because as I do the energy healing, then yeah, we're live. Are you near birds and bunny rabbits, or are you near things that are like pigs, goats, cows, horses? I know you said you were taking care of the animals. Give it all. Well, today, Randy, actually, my consideration is going to be if Paul is next to the animals and they're actually hearing this, they're already in a pretty overwhelming system in the fair. And so depending on which animals, thank you, Amanda Carroll. Okay, so he is a larger. Okay, great. That's wonderful. Awesome. Well, then we get to grant Randy her wishes, just as long as there's no birds or smaller mammals anywhere near you, because it can be overwhelming whenever I do the energy healing then. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started with some energy healing. I cannot remember what I had on my slides. I think, well, we've got the bubble technique there. We're just having a pool party. I am near an elephant. Let's do this. Let's do the dragon there. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And so we're just going to sit here and chat, and I'm going to get started then. If you are sensitive to energy here and on the replay, then you might actually feel me working in and around you. At the moment, I'm going to be saying things, locations that I'm at. So at the moment, I'm up and around. Yeah, that's why I picked it. It's a beautiful dragon. We actually have, this is from a sandcastle contest that was done in Cannon Beach, which is just to the south of us. We have a contest. I'm not sure, but I think it's an international contest. Anyways, this little red dragon, sand dragon in the castle, we're from one of the contests then. But as I was saying earlier, is if you're sensitive to energy, you may feel me in and around your body. If you do not feel me, do not worry. You cannot do this wrong. What I'm doing is I'm working with your meridians, and those are rivers of energy that are in and around your body. And so what happens is as I work on this, you may feel me in and around, but you may also not. And that's perfectly okay. Your meridians are going to be responding to it no matter what. And as I was asking Paul, I needed to find out which animals he was near, because your animals will also pick up on this. This is a universal energy that I'm putting out here. Now, if you were to do a one-on-one with me, I actually come in and I'm way more laser focused just on your own energy system. Yeah, one of these years I'd love to see the sandcastles. So for now, what I'm doing is a more generalized, and I'm actually working through absolutely everybody's energy system. And this also works on a replay. I know sometimes people are a little confused with that, and they think that it's not going to work, but this is quantum energy, which means that it is timeless. And at the moment, I'm at the tops of the shoulders, where the base of the neck meets the tops of the shoulders. I'm just brushing them. That's so sweet. Yeah, we have a lot of digestion that works in and around. There's a lot of stomach meridian. Also, there are, um, oh, cat, there are sand and castle competitions in Massachusetts and New Hampshire too. But yeah, around the shoulders, we have a lot of meridians that flow. Yeah. We're going underneath the shoulder blades as well. It's a bunch of itty bitty muscles that kind of get tense underneath there. Now, sometimes if you find like the where the neck joins the top of the shoulder, sometimes that can feel a pinch. Sometimes place your heels a little further apart and your toes closer together, just to see if that will help to loosen up that pressure from the top of your shoulder. Okay, now we're going to work down the legs. Sorry for the animals. I'm focused on the animals at the moment. And so for the humans, that's going to be your upper arm. We're focused primarily on the left-hand side today. Elbow, forearm, headed towards the knees in the livestock. For humans, that'll be a wrist. This is strong today. I can't get over it. Paul, you're doing an amazing job, and so it's absolutely wonderful. You know, your sensitivity is going to be getting stronger and stronger as you go forward. You're being guided beautifully. Cat, I have no idea where anyone is located. I don't have a clue either. But that's all good. We're all sitting here in the Lemurian energy, which is beautiful. Ah, we have another Pacific Northwest. Yeah, I'm located in Seaside, Oregon. And I just say Oregon coast because, quite frankly, I go in and around. I've lived on the Oregon coast for quite a long time, so I've had different homes in different locations. There's so many fun things to do in Oregon. And wow, Washington State is amazing. And of course, if you're ever in the Redwoods area in California, you have got to make it a point to get over there to see them. It is truly magical. So now we're on the inner palm and fingers for the left hand and the inner wrist of the left hand. And then coming back up the left. Pennsylvania is wonderful too, isn't it? Oh, gorgeous. Jedediah Smith State Forest. Coming up the inner arm for the left-hand side and into the old armpit. Camping in the Redwoods was awesome. I bet you were grounded for weeks. I just love the redwoods. Yeah, it's fascinating too because they do this thing with their roots where they're all intertwined. And it's because in the wintertime, we have some pretty strong winds that come through. Usually we'll have 90-mile-an-hour winds that will spike well over 100. And so with the roots, hey there, Karen Robinson, lovely to see you. Yeah, Crescent Beach is beautiful. So whenever the storms hit, the roots they're all holding hands, so to speak, with the redwoods, and it helps them support as they're going through. Okay, now going down the spine itself. Be my next door neighbor. Oh, you already are my next door neighbor, Paul. That's what I was saying with the quantum energies. It's amazing because we're literally neighbors. We're right here next to each other, sitting in this energy, and you can sit in the same energy whenever you come back through, as you come and listen to the replays as well. Yes, Wawa Karen Robinson. So we're going down the spine. I noticed this morning somebody had come in already whenever I was just waking up, and they were presenting a spine needed some TLC. So let's just make sure to increase the energy to the spine itself. And we're going to use an iridescent white light color going in and around down that spine, just filling up each and every vertebrae, in between each and every vertebrae, with a perfect pure white light that's just got this iridescent sheen to it. Because honestly, we are transitioning into crystalline form, crystalline energies, and we're doing it nice and slowly because we don't want to fry anybody out. Okay, now we're going to go on the left-hand side of the back. We're going from underneath the shoulder blades on the left side. We're going to hit those 3 main meridians going down that side. These are some important channels. There is a pig. I don't know if you can see it or not, Paul, but there is a white pig somewhere around that just loves this. It is totally getting into this. Wasn't there one of the goddesses, one of the pagan goddesses? Let me think. One of the goddesses, she presented as a white sow. There we go. I have, oh, beautiful. I have a Hertz frequency machine. What frequency do you suggest I use today? For this month, we've been using 396 Hertz. I love 432 Hertz. That's a real heart opener. And then this upcoming month that we're going to be doing, you could probably use 417 or 432. I'm on the interior of actually working through the lungs and then on the interior of the spine. So it's not a spot that usually gets reached, but it's behind the abdominal wall. So it's the interior of those musclings that we just worked on, coming down into where the hip joins and the pelvis joins the lower lumbars. Yep, you're right. Keep up that energy. That's great. Kerwin, was that her name? The Salgus. She'll present. Sometimes she'll present as a white pig. Oh, so Paul's got in front of him a little brown pig, a few white speckles on him. He's by me. Oh, I'm not with them. I'm having lunch. Yep. I agree. Wash your hands, especially if you're having lunch. Carwin, then, for the hog. Now we're working on the hip croup. We're going to be going down the left outer thigh. Smart. Yes, we love our friends, our animal friends, but always wash your hands well before you eat. How cool is it over there for you, Karen? Has it cooled off any? Or are you guys still doing crazy high heat over there? That's what Google said. I thought it was Henman, but I'm a little weak on. I'm trying to remember if I think the Welsh goddess. Go Google, huh? Well, whoever's piglet this is, they're really, really enjoying it and really getting into it, which is pretty funny. Left knee, which is just really a super tender joint for quite a few people. My tongue is tingling. Ooh, beautiful. It's only 67 now. That's gorgeous. Oh, Paul's really feeling the energy. Yeah, I try to tell people as it's going because, I have some MP3s and I've listened to it before, and I'm the one that's doing the energy. I'm the one that put the energy onto the soundtrack. And it's kind of freaky weird whenever you can actually play that and feel it yourself, and it's you that's put it on there to begin with. It's pretty wild. And again, what I'm doing is I'm moving congested energy, so stagnant energy that's on your meridian. And so, again, these are rivers of energy that flow in and around your body. If you've ever seen acupuncture or you've had an acupressure massage, that's what this is. Ooh, beautiful. Wawanui Hunahamani Manikori. Beautiful name. Beautiful, beautiful. So Google says Caradwin was a Welsh goddess. Oh, gorgeous. I am so glad for you, Karen. The clouds have come in the last few days, taking it down below the triple digits. Okay, so she's the one that presents as the white sow then. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Randy. See, I'm a little weak on my old pagan mythologies when it comes to the different, but yeah. So apparently she presents as a white sow. Well, hopefully she's enjoying it. I think it was somebody's sow at a fair, but we're on the outer left calf right now, aiming for the ankle. Feels like waves going through me. Wow, that's gorgeous, Paul. And again, you don't have to feel it to have it work. So around the heel, the arch, going through the outside of the foot, down through the ball of the foot, which on the animals is going to be their hind fetlock, headed into the pasterns, which on humans are going to be our toes. And then we're going to hit some ting points here right quick for everybody. And that helps to ground it. Thank you. Helps to ground it into Mother Earth. There we go. Sometimes it's just a matter of waiting. Somebody's horse, it just took a little bit longer to release. So now we're going to come up the inner toes, pamper the big toe right quick, because I know somebody's got a little struggle with that, and the toe that's alongside it. So just filling that up. We're going to pause here for just a second, filling it up with some white light. It can feel like a tingling, dazzling, like bubble champagne. White light coming up through the toes and then around the toe joint itself, easing off any and all aches. Just allow that to flow back into Mother Earth and fizz, fizz, fizz all the way up into your toes. There you go. And into that lock of somebody's horse is what this is. So you might have an older animal that has arthritic changes in their fetlock. This is the hind fetlock. So we're working through that right now. And of course, this is still working for all the humans. And we're coming up the inner arch now. Nice fizzy. Walking to the horses, lunch is over. They'll be fascinated with this if you're still playing me over the phone. Inner ankle. I am here. Hi, babies. Aw, somebody's kitty cat. Hi, baby. Wow, that was a really pretty tortoiseshell. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch because some of the animals, I'd say a lot of the animals, they're same thing as humans. Not all of them are magical, not all of them are hooked in. And so whenever they begin to understand that humans can actually communicate the same way, and especially as they begin to feel the energy. So we are on the inner knee, the inner left knee. They can be kind of startled, and it's fun to watch, especially as their energy gets balanced. A lot of times you'll see lameness issues that will resolve, especially in the horses. In fact, ages ago, that was one that I had worked hands on for Shiatsu, and that's the energy that we're working with today. And she was club-footed mare. Thankfully, she was young enough that her energy, we were able to do a lot of changes in and around that foot. And so when she first walked off, it's like, watch this. She had to relearn how to walk because everything had changed with the energy in and around the fetlock and the shoulder. It went completely from the spine, the shoulder, all through that limb and through that foot. So at the moment, we're on the left hand side of the left lap. And we're going to pause and go up to the right hand side. And we're going to work through the right shoulder. And where the right shoulder and the neck joins the right shoulder. And we're going to go on the right hand side. We're going to mirror pretty much what we just did on the left. I'll pause for just a second. One of the horses actually has some stuff going on there with that neck. There we go. Okay, that's great. That was a good release. Okay, now we're going through the shoulder blade. If you have fallen asleep, don't worry about it. You didn't do anything wrong. Be sure to get yourself a drink of water when you wake up. And you can come back through and you can listen to this as many times as you like. A lot of times what will happen is our energy system will make us drowsy or sleepy. And the reason is because we're getting the conscious mind out of the way while the energy is being worked. And it can be so relaxing and so soothing. Working a little underneath the right shoulder blade. Just getting all those muscles that normally can't get reached. To release those off. And we're headed for the ball of the shoulder. And now we're going to go down the right front leg. And on the humans, that's the right upper arm. Little stagnant on the right bicep there. And stagnant energy will occur throughout our day. You may accidentally bop your body running into a doorway, or you dropped a book or something on it, and temporarily it will cause congestion on that meridian. Now, if it doesn't get itself freed up and flowing again, it can lead to some pain, some distress. So what we're doing here is we're working through the energy and we're getting it released. So yes, it is. You can feel it, can't you? Yeah. We're aiming for that right elbow. Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks for stopping in, Paul. Really enjoyed having you have here. And you have a great time with the critters. All right, forearm. Right wrist. How are your kitty cats doing over there, Karen? Sorry. Sometimes I lose my ability to speak whenever I'm doing this because for me, it's a right brain activity. So I'll tend to lose my speech center as I do this sometimes. I've actually gotten a lot better about being able to speak. So we're going to go through the hand, back of the hand, fingertips. And now we're going to come up the inner hand. So the inner fingertips and the inner palm. And again, feel a fizzy energy coming through that. Just 10 points right quick. Beautiful. Inner wrist. Yeah, it feels nice, doesn't it? You're welcome. The inner elbow. Inner upper arm and into the armpit. Now we're going to go down the right hand side of the back from below the shoulder blades, right hand side, picking up the spine again. Beautiful. That spine is gorgeous. That's glowing on some people. That's great. Ribs. Down towards where the spine joins the hip on the right hand side. So, of course, all the kidneys, adrenal glands. I'm fizzing all over. So, the hip, croup, pelvis. There's a ton of little tiny muscles that help to support not just the humans, but also all of our animal friends too. This one can be a little tight sometimes, can lead to some stuck energy. And that's really, the energy that I'm clearing off whenever I say congested or stagnant. It's just stuck energy. It just needs to be flowing just to release it. As we do that, you're going to find that there's better blood flow to that area, and so that'll help to release the toxins. So if you've done any yawning or sneezing, burping, uh, coughing, tears sometimes can happen, but they're not really tears. They're just like your eyes are leaking. If you've done any of those signs, then get yourself a drink of water. It doesn't even have to be very much. You can just drink like a coffee cup full of it, or even a half a coffee cup full of it, but you definitely want water, because what will happen is as those symptoms have shown up, you've had toxins released into your bloodstream. That's what's causing. And don't panic. The water will flush it out of your system. So we're working along the outer right hand leg. It's the outer thigh on the humans, haunches for animals. Oh, baby. Oh, good. My animals are okay. My pupper is still old, but still good. That's wonderful. She's such a sweetheart. I'm so glad she's calmed down again. That was pretty traumatic for her. Around the right knee. We're going to balance the energy between the two knees. So sometimes as humans, we get stuck. We can't seem to go forward in life. So we're just going to balance between those two. And these also, we have a lot of digestion points around the knees as well. So there's spleen balancing, as well as the stomach meridian. Wonderful. Okay, now we're going to release down over the right calf, headed for the outer right ankle. So it's going to be the hawk on all of our puppers and kitties, horses, livestock. So you might feel me around the right outer ankle, headed to the heel. Oh, hang on a minute. Got it. Just a little bit stuck there, and that feels like a horse. So we just have to wait for the energy to move here. In and around that ankle. And this is one thing too. Sometimes whenever we reach something where it's called a chronic pattern, but really it's just simply it's been that way for a little while longer. Yeah, my princess sacked out. I'll bet she's just bathing in this. Sometimes it can just take the energy a minute or two to start moving again through that area. There it goes. There it goes. Great. Okay, now we're going around the right heel for people. So the right hock. And now we're going to track down the right foot through your arch. Just feel it like a fizzy white energy going down through that foot, just massaging everything as it goes. Follow the foot down through the outer 3 toes. And now all of the toes. And now we're grounding into Mother Earth with that. There's king points there. And now we're going to come back up through the big toe and the toe next to it. White light, white fizzy, fizzy, fizzy light. Coming all the way back up, up, up. Up through the ball of the foot. Up through the inner ankle. She ran pretty good this morning on her walk. That's great, Karen. Oh, she's such a good girl. I'm so glad to hear that. I'll bet she's really enjoying that cooler temperature too. There it goes. Okay, now we're coming up the right inner calf. So just below the right knee on humans. This cute little spleen point we're going to pick up there. Some imbalances that you can find on the spleen point is if you can't make a decision, you're wishy-washy. Sometimes that's a deficiency on your spleen points. Someone's right spleen point is feeling pretty deficient this morning, so let's just get that filled up. There it goes. Now we're on the right inner knee. In the animals, it can show up as anxious. Like your kitty cat might be, and I know cats tend to do this thing with doorways where it's like in, out, in, out, in, out. But they might seem anxious with it. Like they can't decide if they want to eat that food or not. And sometimes that can be the same thing. All you have to do is press play. Whenever we've got this done, it'll be a replay. I'll try to put up timestamps underneath these. Or, if you can go back to any of my others that have timestamps as well, where I'm doing the energy balancing. And we're coming up through the right thigh. It does not have to be played loud. This is all done on a quantum level. So the volume actually doesn't have to be played loud in order for this to work. In fact, even though Paul might have quit listening to this on his phone, those animals that tuned in at that state fair, they're still here and they're still getting this worked with. So now we're on the right lap. Coming up around the right hip bone. And all throughout that inner pelvis. And now we're going to come up through the abdominal. Going to work on the triple heater in the abdomen. Let's get that going the correct direction. Beautiful. Now we're going to come up that center line, which is called the conception vessel. Up to the collarbones, lung space, heart space. Now we're going to go into the throat, under the throat, where the eustachian tube is. We're going to support the voice, the larynx. Beautiful. Now we're going to come up into the face. There are some ting points on the face and around the eyes, bathing the eyes in this beautiful light. Very soft, very soothing, nice and gentle, all the way along the optic nerve. We're going to do the tear ducts. Get those ting points around the eyes just to stimulate them. Sinus cavity, tops of the teeth, teeth themselves, gums, tongue. Oh, that was nice. Somebody's horse just really released a good yawn. Good deal. TMJ, lower jaw, roots of the teeth, gums, teeth themselves. And now we're just going to work all around the top of the skull, forehead, down through the brain structures. Ooh, goodness, hang on a second. You can revive and regenerate what's going on in the brain itself. I know everybody's been told no, but there are supportive ways of doing this. So we're just going to support this, clean and clear, support the tissues in here. And we're going to contract some tissues because I can feel somebody has a migraine. And again, this is just working with the light body. This isn't intended to substitute as any kind of a medical anything. Okay, we're going to the back of the skull, base of the skull. We have some really cute sinus cavities that happen at the base of the skull where it joins the neck. Sometimes those can cause some pressure headaches as well. So let's get that released. Good. And now the ears. Back through the neck. Gorgeous. Well done, everybody. My guess is your little pets are going to be sleeping for a little while. Make sure to have some water available for them. You don't have to force a critter to drink. They're going to instinctively do it. Humans are the only ones I've encountered that have been resistant to the drinking. But again, if you've had any of the coughing or the yawning, burping, yawning usually tends to be the most frequent. Sneezing, your eyes running, your nose running. Sometimes you can have the sinuses running. Any of those, get yourself a drink of water. If I believe it, it's real. You betcha. That is actually most of it, because with humans, it doesn't matter if you believe you can do it or if you believe you can't do it. Your energy system and your brain will always work toward making that real. There we go. And again, if you've drifted off to sleep, enjoy it. And you can come back to this at any time that you need a boost. You are so welcome, Randy. If you have critters, or if you yourself have what's called a chronic condition, like let's say you have arthritis or something that's really achy, you can actually come back, set this on a repeat, play it low. Doesn't even have to be on. You can actually just run it with the thing muted if you need. Beautiful. Eyes watering, yawning. That's gorgeous, Randy. That's a lot of energy moving. But you can place this on a loop, especially if it's something that's chronic. Karen actually had an older kitty, and that was exactly what she did. She had one of my MP3s, and so she went ahead and put that on a loop for multiple days to help clear up that kitty. Got her energy system moving again. But this works really nice if you need to calm down a critter, or if you, like I said, have, say, an older chronic injury where you've already done all the icing and everything. but it's just something, let's say you just keep respraining your ankle, you can listen to this on the replay, and it'll help to shift the energy that's been stuck around that ankle, then help to move it off. And what will help it happen with that is that will help then to ease off any of the aches and pains that you have in and around that joint. Same thing with your tennis elbow, same thing with your knees. I know somebody out there has a back that is doing a lot better, and I'm encouraging you, you can come back to this absolutely and just replay that, and it will help over time. That's just it. With the stuff that's chronic, it takes more time to unstick it because it's been stuck that way for a longer time. But yes, as you get the energy flowing again, it will help to ease up the aches and the pains. And you'll find with animals, especially if there are things that are going on emotionally, this will help as well. I'm so ready. I'm moving into 5D and beyond. Beautiful. That's a lot of fun. You're going to be so jacked up for your other energy session. Be sure you get yourself a drink of water. Yeah, somebody just got a little bit more that we're supporting here with the lungs. And that's one of the challenges as we come into September and Namu season. A lot of times as the kids are going back to school, there'll be a little bit more lung challenges as everybody gets excited and wound up and stressed out sometimes. So let's preserve the lungs. And of course, that'll come up into the structures of the throat, eustachian tube, sinuses. Gorgeous. We're going to do just a little bit more in and around the heart. Let's run some pretty plasma energy through that. Gorgeous. That's a nice vortex there. Beautiful. Cool. Yum. I've been adding Celtic sea salt and a cream of tartar to my water. Yum, yum. That's great. Very supportive. The cream of tartar is a natural support for potassium. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Here in the Pacific Northwest, we've actually had our leaves are already starting to change on our trees. Fall is definitely coming. My cherry tree said, "Yep," about 2 weeks ago. It's like, "Yep, fall's coming." And then I still have a few of the barn swallows left, but a lot of my barn swallows, they have vacated already, and others they've went ahead and um, pine martens have peeled out of there too. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes, absolutely. They're gonna love that for sure. Sure, you go for it. And Karen has, like I said, Karen has one of my MP3s, and those are available at debbiedement.com. But she says I use that MP3 on anyone who's sick, and then I play it for 24 hours. That's wonderful. Thank you, Karen. The main reason that I did that, I went ahead and put them on MP3s, is because I wanted it to be available. There was a few times whenever Karen I'd come onto Facebook, and that's literally it. Karen would be on just really in the middle of the night with one of her kitties, and I was asleep. And of course, I do energy work, but I wanted it to be available to everybody so that whenever I'm unavailable, that that you can take this into your own hands. Now, I know one of the things that I've been told is that if it is of the light, that makes the process easy. And if it's easy, we as human beings tend to forget it. So that's where a little bit of the discipline comes in, so that you remember, make a post-it if you need. The hardest thing for everybody to do is to remember to play it. I take a magnesium glycinate, really supportive. Ooh, waiting for my apples to turn. A few are starting already on the tree. I haven't checked my apple tree. I need to go down there and check that. They have some of the most amazing apples, and it came from a bird. God knows it was probably a tourist that threw it to begin with, but that's, I thought it would be a crab apple. That was a delicious. I think it literally was the species delicious. So I definitely want to get some seeds from that one. Yeah, my poor cherry tree. It thought about doing cherries this year, and then one of my stellar blue jays that is a teenager, I saw it the one morning and it was up there. Teenagers, man. He's up there ripping off my cherry blossoms and throwing them on the ground for who knows what reasons. And I think because it just thought it was fun. I scolded it, but the cherry tree decided no. No, it thought about setting cherries, but then it decided against it. I can't blame it. Yeah, it's like, man, not this year. We're just going to pass. Some of my pine cones have been that same way too. And I have to say, my blackberries just kind of, bleh. This year they just did not really, they came on late. Yeah, it's a huge, the tree that I'm talking about, I was shocked whenever I went back there. It was a lot bigger than I expected it to be. It grew and established way faster than I expected. But yeah, I was like, this is huge old tree. So there are a lot of apples. I bet. I bet, I bet. Now we usually have the elk come through, so they do a pretty strong cleanup whenever it comes to the apples. But yeah, even the blackberries, I noticed that even the birds aren't bothering with them this year. Normally we have like deer, elk, birds. Everybody usually just loves the blackberries, but this year is just meh. So they're just sitting there rotting on the vine, so to speak. There's no interest. But it happens. Some years are just a little bit of an off year. Well, my dears, I hope you enjoy the very last week of Fatsua, and I hope you enjoy the incoming energies of Ma'ita, and I hope you really enjoy the upcoming energy of peace that's going to be coming in with Namu, sign of the dove. I hope you really enjoyed the energy balancing that was here. As I was saying earlier, there are actually 4 different MP3s that are available for the energy balancing. They're species specific, but they can also be used universally. So if you have a bird, you can use the kitty cat for the bird, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but it's the same energy system that is used. And so it is a cat MP3, a dog MP3, human MP3, and a horse MP3. So those are available through debbiedement.com if you'd like. And I am available for one-on-ones as well. So if you'd like that, then just be sure to reach out through the contact me page. You're so welcome. I can't think. Yeah, that usually happens afterwards. Excuse me. I know normally I don't usually mention it, but I do like mentioning it, that it is available for people if you would like. We overdid it for you, did we, Randy? Remember to get yourself a drink of water in between, and I hope you enjoy that. Uh, the polarity energy balancing as well. You are so welcome, and you are so welcome. Thanks for joining in, Kat. That's wonderful. And thank you so much for stopping by, Karen, and everybody else that's come through here and are probably currently falling asleep would be my guess, because my energy healing does tend to put people to sleep, which, if you've got insomnia later tonight or a few days from now, come back, listen to the replay, and it'll put you back to sleep again. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye. Wawa. Wawa nui.